Let's ask GitHub Copilot in our VS Code IDE questions about an application we have been asked to fix. GitHub Copilot will use the zAdviser MCP server to access data to answer those questions. You can use any MCP client to do this, including AMY Acetant after the July 2026 update. So I was just assigned to work on CWKTOBX as it abended multiple times recently, and my manager wants it fixed. My first move is to ask GitHub Copilot one simple question. Tell me about this program. As you can see, the program is a COBOL batch program. Its job is straightforward. Process employee records, produce 2 reports, an employee detail report, and a region summary report. The main flow runs through 3 processing branches, depending on the employee type, hourly, sales, and management. It stores the results in memory and prints both reports before closing. It calls 2 external programs, CWK-TADAT and CWK-TUB sub-C. Nothing calls it. It's a top-level entry point. 22 paragraphs, 20 loops. Not a trivial program, but it is well structured with no unreachable code. Let's dig deeper. After asking about the program, I have a good idea what it does. My next question is, how stable is it? So I ask about its abend history. 24 since January, but 79 of those are SOC 7 Stata exceptions hitting arithmetic operations, most likely in the hourly or sales processing routines. There was a spike of 7 abends on April 29th driven by a single user account. That's my starting point. zAdviser has given me important information I need to get to work. So now that I know the abend history, my next question is, who's actually been working on this program? 10 developers have touched it since January, but one person is carrying almost half the debugging load. Nearly 49% of all debug sessions belong to this single user. The top 3 users combined account for 82%. That's a knowledge distribution problem, and here's what stands out. 289 debugging sessions versus 0 unit tests. This program is being kept alive through reactive debugging, and most of that weight is on one person. As someone new to this code that tells me who I need to track down, there's undocumented knowledge here that isn't captured anywhere else. zAdviser has now given me the full picture before I wrote a single line of code. Next question. If I make a change to this program, what's the impact of that going to be? Good news first, nothing calls the program. It's a top-level entry point, so any changes I make won't break other programs upstream. But it calls 2 programs, CWKTDate and CWKTDate sub-C. If either of those has issues, I'll feel it here. The other thing that jumped out at me is that there were 26 changes in the same period versus 24 abends, nearly a 1-to-1 ratio. That tells me changes to this program have been introducing as many problems as they're fixing. Data validation is the likely culprit either way. Overall, risk is medium and stability is improving. Upstream exposure is low, but I need to be careful with every change I make and test thoroughly before promoting. Let's go over what you just saw. A developer asked to fix a program that has been failing in production. The developer doesn't have any experience with this program. Using the knowledge base in zAdviser, I was able to ask a few questions about the program and get answers I needed. I asked, what is CWKTCOBX? I got back a full program analysis of the program. I was concerned about the abends, so I asked, what are the abends of CWKTCOBX? And I found out the primary abend was a SOC 7, a data validation issue, and it wasn't just a one-time abend, it's been occurring regularly. Who in my organization has the most knowledge of this program? If there is some tribal knowledge that might be known to only one person, who is that person? And zAdviser identify the 3 people who have made 82% of the changes. Finally, if or when I make a change, what do I need to be concerned about? What is the blast radius for this program? 4 questions in a few minutes. I got answers that I needed to be fully up to speed on this program, all answered by zAdviser in my IDE. If you are a new developer charged with updating a completely new program, how long would it take you to get these answers? Minutes? Hours? Days? Maybe never?